What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the Across the Cowboys podcast. I'm your host, Paul Ryan, and with me, as always, is the greatest co-host in the world, Mike the Pig Crum. Mike, how are you?
Doing good. Oh, I already have marks on me too. That's bad.
Mike, I know you've got some company tonight. You want to reveal her?
Well, I might as well, since the newest member of the podcast, since she's done eating. Come here, little. Come here. Let me see. You want to say hi?
Definitely the prettiest member of the podcast.
This is Maisie. She does not want to be held right now because she's been in her little kennel for an hour and a half while I worked out. So she wants to be let down to rip stuff up. But I wanted you guys to say hi and see why I'm distracted a little, because I have to watch her and make sure she's not chewing up cords and stuff. Okay? You see it? You want to go?
I'm going to be the most spoiled dog in the world for the next few months.
We do spoil our dogs. That is 100% a thing. I will not lie.
You know, Mike, I know you like to watch what you consume as far as like your food and your diet and things like that. Are you going to do the same with the dog?
I will feed it decent puppy food. You know, it's still a dog and stuff like that. I'm not going to feed her human food, especially early. As they get older, we might, pull, if we have a slice of pizza left, everybody gets a little bite of it, but we try not, it's unhealthy for the dogs to eat like that. So, sometimes we'll put stuff like beef broth on their food to give it a little bit more flavor, stuff like that. But that's it. I have to do the good girl. Good babies. Use your potty pad. Good girl.
Well, there's that brand that like has the commercials where the dog food's in the fridge and it's all like actual real ingredients. Will you do anything like that?
No, that's I'm bougie with what I eat, but that's a little bit too bougie. Like, I threw it away. I had a can of this puppy soft food that I mix in with some puppy hard food, and it gets them used to eating the hard food because then when they get older, during the good portion of the life, we feed our dogs dry food. And then when they get older, they get soft food again because it's tough for them.
Mike, we've got a fan here, somebody I've never seen before, but they must be watching from afar, asking about Disney. They must know you from somewhere, sir.
They don't have the kennels anymore, so you cannot. But we were never a take the dogs to Disney family, and I've never been a take the dogs to Disney person. With the baby, it's difficult to do stuff because we got to get people to watch her. I can't just lock her in a kennel for 8 hours. It's not going to work. Yeah. But we do a good job of we have a kennel for her to make sure she's not running around ripping up stuff. But people will come in and check on her, make sure she's fed at right times, make sure she always has water. I leave my air conditioning on for her. The other dogs that we have in the house, that we let them in the house into a certain section, and the air is on in there. So we like dogs more than humans. So yeah, we take good care of them.
When's the personal fireplace going to be built for the puppy? Is that going to be coming closer to wintertime, or when's that going to happen?
No fireplace. we have 2 fireplaces here, but we haven't used them in 10 years. I haven't used them in a long time. We have our AC units in the room for people that live outside of the house where other rooms were built. We have AC units that have heat, and then in the house, the big AC is also a heater. So no need for fire, luckily.
I've always loved fireplaces, man, as a kid.
It's nice. I use my fire as the wood burning pizza oven. I have that outside, and I'll use that.
Firing up those Red Barons, I hear.
Let's just talk.
Mike, before we get into our discussion, man, where can we find you on Twitter, sir?
At CD Piglet, guys. Nice and easy.
So, unfortunately, Brendan Fergie Smith couldn't be here with us tonight, but make sure to follow him on Twitter at Brendan_Smith26. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. Mike, we're just 10 days away from the NFL season opener featuring the Dallas Cowboys and Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. And yet, star defensive end Micah Parsons is still unsigned.
Michael Parsons.
Jerry Jones is rubbing off on me, it sounds like. But we won't get into the Micah Parsons contract tonight too much. Instead, we'll be projecting the Cowboys' 53-man roster. Cuts have started being made, with more to come. Mike, was quarterback the easiest position to keep and cut?
For me, honestly, it was linebacker. But
why is that?
Well, I just the five that are gonna be there are just gonna be there. It just is what it is. They're gonna keep five. Everybody knows the five. Like it's not that one's just not a hard cut. Quarterback was probably tied. Those were the two, that were easy. You got Dak and you have Joe Mixon. I mean, that's the two. It makes me laugh because I hear people going like, well, if Dak's out 2 games and we just need a guy to hold it over 2 games, well, that's Will Grier. And I'm like, since when? That guy's been a third stringer his whole career. He's terrible. Like, what are we talking about? We're worried about Joe Milton and vanilla offense where they didn't run. Hey, what was so great about Joe Milton the third preseason game? I know we talk about it later, but I don't know. Maybe they ran some stuff that he would run in a regular game, so he looked normal. I'm like, yeah, he's not like a vanilla stand in the pocket quarterback. Neither is Will Grier. He's awful too. So at least play the guy with the big arm and mobility that you could do some game planning, some college offense stuff to use his strengths to produce. Like Will Grier makes no sense. I have no problem putting him on the practice squad, call up, being the third guy who doesn't count against the 53. But the whole do you want the pitcher that could give you 8 shutout innings or give up 8 innings in the first inning? Or do you want the guy who's going to go 4 innings a solid? I'm like, when did Will Grier become the solid, good? Like, he's terrible. What are we talking about? You guys are thinking Cooper Rush, who wasn't any good, who beat out Will Grier. Like, Cooper Rush was that guy that was like, well, I guess he could give you 4 okay innings. And if your defense is elite, and Brandon Aubrey hits 2 50-plus field goals and you get a turnover, then you could, win. But they make it like Will Grier's awful. He's been a third stringer everywhere he's went. He's no good. I hear you. Nobody wants to play with you. We're going to have to deal with that.
No worries. Always love the sounds of the puppy. So there's I was thinking about this earlier and I was like, you always say if we lose Dak, we're screwed anyway, so it doesn't matter. And I'm like, I was thinking about that. I'm like, there's really no reason to keep even 3 quarterbacks. So I was wondering if either you or Brendan would do that.
Yeah, I just don't see with how our roster is and how many people we need to keep and kind of hope someone breaks out or hope someone could be a solid contributor around our big players. I'm trying to keep as many people as possible. Keeping Will Grier makes no sense. I promise you he's not going to get picked up by somebody. And if he does, he'll be just like the Eagles one. He'll be cut sometime during the year. I'm not worried about that. You can find a Will Grier. Ain't no biggie.
Yeah, because, you think about it, it's like, okay, would you rather have Will Grier or a guy like Ryan Flournoy? And it's like, obviously, Flournoy. You wouldn't want to waste a roster spot on the third QB who's not going to do anything for you anyway.
Yes, exactly.
Moving on to running backs, Mike, who did you keep and who did you cut?
I kept Javonte Williams, Jaden Blue, and Hunter Lipke. Word is that they may keep Miles Sanders. I don't see a point in that. I don't think anybody would pick him up. You could re-sign him a day later after somebody goes to IR. But Maffa got put on IR, but eligible to return. So he could be back in 4 weeks. So maybe they keep a Miles on the squad, and then he's the guy, if he's not doing great, that gets removed for Maffa. But for me, I would just put the 3 on. Javonte Williams your starter, Jordan Blue is your change of pace guy. Joe Milton, Hunter Lipke is your fullback / 4th tight end. And then you have Miles Sanders can be signed to the practice squad, and you can call him up the first game if you're worried about Blue's heel, and you go that way. So it just doesn't make sense that they would keep Miles Sanders to me, but I have heard that they might. So I might be wrong on that one, but I'm going to go with they keep 3.
Yeah. So what about Lipke? Did you like more than Maffa when you were doing these?
Well, I had Maffa making mine at first.
Okay, I got you.
So I had somebody else off. And then people said that he got injured, and I was like, well, is it like he got injured so they could IR him for the year to stash him? And they were like, no, he's going to come back in 4 weeks. This isn't like a stash him for the year like they did Nate Thomas last year. And I was like, oh, okay. So he legitimately, like, I hurt my shoulder for a week or two. We're just going to put you out 4 weeks so that we can keep you, and then you can come back afterwards. So, yeah, so he ended up not making it. Hunter Lemke was always there because he could play fullback and tight end. So that he could be a running back. You could run him short yardage and stuff, but he's more fullback tight end than he is running back.
Gotcha. So, I'll ask you this. Are Jaden Blue and Maffa our best running backs?
Oh, that's a good question. I would put Williams ahead of Maffa for now on veteran. He knows a little bit more. He's seen a little bit more. I think both of them have the same running style, and maybe Maffa, as his knowledge increases, he would be a better athlete or a better runner than Williams. But right now, just based on Williams has seen a lot more, and both are kind of powerful, short yardage, beat you down runners up the middle more than like the shifty Jaden Blue type. So I would go Williams. Williams and Jaden Blue are the two top guys.
Gotcha. Interested to see how they'll use Hunter Lipke, because I know that earlier, it was just a couple weeks ago that Schottenheimer was singing his praises quite a bit, which we've seen him make some plays, but it just seems like he's going to be have a consistent role in this offense, it sounded like.
Yes, I agree. Sorry, dealing with puke.
No worries. Moving on here to wide receivers. Talk to us, Mike. Who'd you keep? Who'd you cut?
I wanted to keep 6. Heard that they were only keeping 5. The main 4 we know: Lamb, Pickens, Turpin, Tolbert. The 5th guy, from what I understand, is going to be Flournoy and not Brooks. They've been playing Flournoy in special teams. I'm not going to say he's as good as Brooks was, but he's good enough. And they have a longer leash with Flournoy. And there's also a better chance Brooks makes it to the practice squad because he's kind of, God, this sounds terrible to say because I like Brooks. I like having a guy like him on the team, but he's more a dime a dozen receiver, where Flournoy has some gifts that could develop him into a better performer than Brooks would ever be if they were both at their best. So that's why I think he gets the nod. I do expect them to really want to get Brooks on the practice squad. Like, that's going to be one of their priority guys.
This is only his second year?
Brooks is third.
Third? Okay.
Yeah.
Was wide receiver the hardest position to keep and predict, rather?
No, that one was O-line. O-line was tougher. Okay. And DB, just because so many moving parts. Like, you got Diggs, but he probably can't play the first couple weeks. And is Zion Childress and Israel Makwamu and Wanye Thomas, are they straight safeties or are they nickel corner / safety? So that one was a little bit tougher to figure out.
Yeah, that makes sense. That'll be interesting to hear who you kept there. Tight ends, this should be pretty simple, but I want to ask you this. If Schoonmaker wasn't a second-round pick, would he still be here?
Weirdly, okay, so when I read that, I think a lot of people think like, oh, he wasn't very productive, so if he wasn't a second-round pick, he'd be gone. See, I see it differently. The second-round pick is what hurts him. Imagine if he was a day 3 pick, like Jake Ferguson. The rookie year, nobody would care. He's a day 3 pick. What did you expect him to do? Then his second year, he actually takes a pretty significant jump if you compare it to his rookie year. Nothing major, but he looks better. So people would be going, okay, this kid's got he played at Michigan, blocked a little bit, has some athleticism. This is a good potential guy, and he played better his second year than his first year. I'm interested in what he'll do. He's going to be in the mix. But because he was a second-round pick, it's more like, damn, that's it? That's all you've done in 2 years? Like, why do we even have him on here? We signed Ferguson. Let's just play get one of these other guys a spot. So I think if he was a lower pick, he would be more likely to make it and more appreciated for the value he's given for that pick. Whereas in this way, because of the value of the pick, he doesn't look very good.
That makes sense. Jay Ferguson, Schoonmaker, is there how many tight ends did you keep?
And Brevin Spanford. My thought was I had Princeton Fant down because Brevin Spanford and Luke Schoonmaker's dealing with concussion. Brevin Spanford just started practicing today from his was an ankle or leg. I know it was a lower leg injury. And so I thought maybe they get Princeton Fant in case they need that extra tight end, like Schoon can't go or Brevin's limited or whatever. But apparently that's Lipke. So I'm going to go with 3 and say that Fant gets to the practice squad. Fant and Fairweather, if one of them gets to the practice squad, they'll be happy. They'd probably take both, though, because Fant could be a backup fullback, too. Fant's like Lipke's backup. He could play fullback. He could be an extra tight end. So I think they try to get both.
Finally giving up on John Stevens Jr., huh?
They cut him today. Yeah, they cut him.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
That's official.
What could have been, man?
Yeah, he made the roster 2 years ago. 2 ACL injuries later, and I don't even think he'll be a practice squad guy. I think they'll prioritize Fant and Fairweather over him.
Yeah. All right, here we are at O-line. Talk to us, Mike. Who'd you keep? Who'd you cut?
Okay, starting 5 is obvious. Guyton, Smith, Beebe, Booker, Steele. We have Nate Thomas, who's going to be starting week 1, most likely. I also kept Brock Hoffman, interior offensive lineman, good attitude guy. TJ Bass has played really well. Johnny Cornelius, I can't see them getting rid of a draft pick, and he played pretty damn well in the preseason, so it makes no sense to make him available. That was going to be that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Heard that they don't want to risk Hakeem Adeniji because he's the offensive tackle. He's played in a Super Bowl. He started games. So he may make the roster just as a protection thing. So they don't risk losing him. And then Sadiq Charles and Lel Collins was already cut. And then Sadiq Charles is one they likely move on to with hoping to bring him back to the practice squad. But, so I have him keeping 10.
Is that normal for a team to do that?
What do you mean?
Keep 10 offensive linemen.
Yeah, 9 to 10 is typical.
Okay. I just wasn't sure. I thought it might be closer to like 7 or 8, but that's why.
You always have 5 starters, and typically you have 3 reserves.
Right.
So you almost always have 8. Now, word is no Richards. That's why hey, we don't mess with cords.
That's a shock. Yeah, I'm just realizing that you didn't mention Awesome Richards.
Yeah, he this was first brought up by Broadus, and then there's 2 other people that have said the same, that Adeniji is likely the guy they're protecting over Richards. And if Richards goes, I think he gets claimed because while he doesn't have the power to play guard, he's been a damn good tackle. So even in preseason, in practice, he's played well at tackle. So I would have kept 11 and just kept him. Offensive line's so important. Or I would, but I think the way they look at it is he's going into one of his final years where Cornelius is a new contract, 4 years of contract to use on him. You have to chew these. We don't chew cords, okay? And yes, I'll give my dog a little no. So people that are like, oh, you can't, let me take care of my dogs how I take care of them. I got 5 of them. They're good. They live the best lives, believe me.
As of today, Mike, is Nate Thomas our biggest question mark on the roster?
One technique and slot corner would probably be at least equal to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But definitely he's one of the issues. I will put you in your kennel. I don't.
How has he performed in your eyes?
Which one? Say it again.
Left tackle, Mr. Nate Thomas.
Oh, he's been good. I mean, he for what he is. Let's come on, he ain't out there like, oh, he's gonna shut it down. But for a backup 7th round right tackle that they were gonna move to guard that ended up being a left tackle backup, he's played well. Like I don't go out there. Giants worry me. You would like a better option, against the Giants, but I don't know if Guyton's a better option. So either way, you're going to be worried. But Philly, Azeez Ojulari can be a good pass rusher if he's healthy. The kid from Georgia, whose name Nolan, no, what is his name? His name's escaping me, but he's a good edge rusher. But I think they are small enough that we might be able to wear on them with some running. And their secondary lost their 2 vets, so we'll be able to attack them. Do you want me to pick you up? You here?
Yeah. How many games do you think Nate Thomas is going to play?
One for sure. Starting Guyton against New York is tough, but it's at home, and I think they'd rather get him a game at home than have Guyton go against the Bears the third week on the road, but that one will be the for sure. So I think week 1 is for sure Thomas. Week 2 is unknown. Week 3 is for sure Guyton.
All right, Mike, here we are with our defensive line, arguably maybe the best position group on the team. Who are you keeping, who are you cutting?
Edge is the best because defensive tackle might be the worst.
Yeah.
We want all D-line, right? So we're going edge and defensive tackles.
Yeah.
We got Micah, Osa, Mozzie, Fowler are your 4. Nealon, Ezeraku, Solomon Thomas, Jay Toia, Sam Williams, Justin Houston, and Perion Winfrey. Yes, I'm keeping 11. I just can't expose any of them to – if I got to cut C.J. Goodwin and Trent Sieg or whoever to get them on until I can IR or flip who I need to, then that's what we're going to do. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 11 guys. I with the way they want to rush, I can't see them letting a guy like James Houston go. It just makes no sense to me. Like, you're getting a quality pass. If you use him as a 3rd down designated pass rusher and you move Micah to stand around linebacker and you have Fowler and him on the outside, okay, great. Or you rotate in Ezeraku. Like, I don't see a point of like going, well, this guy's good, but let's keep Keemon Hall so we can, we have to cut him because we're keeping Keemon Hall. Well, why? One of them will help your team. I don't know if the other one really does anything better than anybody else, You
kind of touched on my next question, so I'll ask you this. Could you see us maybe trading one of our edge pieces to strengthen our defensive tackle or nose tackle?
I think that should be something they're trying to do. Do I think our front office is good enough to do like the Philly does? Like, Philly's made 3 trades in the last week. And they could amount to nothing. They're nothing. They didn't get anybody great, but they're making moves to try to fill areas of their roster. And so, we should go out and go, hey, is anybody Houston, Williams? That would be the Dante Fowler even. Those would be the 3. I would be like, hey, what can we get from one of these 3? Can we get, Dante Fowler, that's a 10-sack guy. You got to give me somebody for that. This ain't Perion Winfrey. You got to give me a guy for that. But if you could get a upgraded, guy for a Houston or a Sam Williams, I think you got to think about it.
Would you target defensive tackle or would you want another secondary piece?
With Diggs news, I would go defensive tackle because Diggs should be back by week 3, I would guess.
Yeah. For all the BS he had to go through, man, this offseason, I'm happy for him, man.
Yeah, I know, man. Coming back, wasn't even put on Pupper IR, and we were bitching about him. Crazy.
Yeah.
Not us, but they were.
The front office kind of, was did him wrong, but content creators were ready to get rid of him too. Though we can't front on that either.
There was some, Foots was on that. I gotta. There's some Foots
I
is
think
not
Gotch too, though.
Foots is not one, but hey, don't do chords, Brad. Foots is not one that was like this, but there's some that like AOC is a water carrier guy, dude. Like no matter what it is, like is against Micah, thinks Micah's the problem. I'm like, then the guy that won't call, like, just there's water carriers out there. Foots is not one. He just didn't like what Diggs was doing at that point when all the stuff came out. But there's some that's like no matter what, they're gonna back the Joneses, and I just don't get that at all.
Now, if you're backing the Joneses on a lot of things, you're probably not really a fan of the team. I mean, is that as crazy as that might be to say?
You're a fan of the jersey, but not the players. And
Yeah,
some people are like that, but still don't back the Joneses. You could be a fan of like, hey, if somebody leaves, they leave. I don't give. This is my team. If Parsons gets traded, I don't care about Parsons. But that's different than saying like, oh, these players are in the wrong, when it's like, why didn't Dak take this and this money? And I'm like, well, the guys don't sign anybody anyway. Like, they have $30 million in cap space free now. Like, what are we talking about anybody's contract for? They could go sign anybody they wanted right now, no problem.
Crazy. All right, here we are with linebackers. You mentioned you having like the top five. Is that all you got?
Murray, Sanborn, Leofau, James, Clark. Overshown is IR. That was the easiest one for me. I was like, there's your five. I like Justin Barron. He will likely make practice squad. There really wasn't anything that's like, oh man, I've got to have this guy. Like, that's it. That's the five.
Seeing Leofau and then seeing Shamar James, like, how excited are you for the future of our linebacker groups?
And imagine if Overshown comes back healthy, is the guy we think he is, and we sign him, which I think we will because Agent Zero and everything. But if you're going in with Overshown, Leofau, and Shamar James going forward, nice, young, athletic, they could do a lot of stuff because Leofau looks like a big-time blitzer. So
complement each other really well.
Yes, agreed. And all of them are athletic playmakers.
Do you think is there a world where we sign Overshown and Sanborn, do you think?
Possible, depending on what Sanborn wants. He could be a guy, but he may look for an opportunity where if you're talking Overshown healthy and Leofau and James, who is this defensive coordinator's only pick of the group, he may be like, I want to go somewhere where I have a chance. Teams only play 2 linebackers regularly, and you've already got 3 ahead of me.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, here we are with our defensive backs. Talk to us, Mike.
Okay, Diggs has got to go on the 53 because he made the roster. They're not making an IR move with them. Bland and Elam is obvious. That's your 3 starter corners when they're healthy. And then you have Donovan, Wilson, Malik Hooker, Wanye Thomas, and Marquise Bell, who are the for sure safeties.
Safeties, yeah.
And then Zion Childress is a guy who's going to make the team as a slot option. I think Wanye will start there at slot, but Zion Childress can get run. It looks like now that Kalen Carson is not going to be on that, with Jonathan Mingo likely going to the return IR. And we just learned about, we just talked about him. The Maffa being the second guy that they could IR without an issue. Kalen Carson might need to make the 53 or get cut, and I don't see them cutting him because they still like him. He's just been injured.
Yeah.
So that leaves me Keemon Hall. I left off. I believe Andrew Booth is going to make the team. I can't tell you why, but I believe he is going to make it. And then got
to be just veteran experience, I would think, right?
Yes. And then Israel McQuamu, I've heard mixed things about. I heard he was a no, but I also heard like, well, he can play safety. He can play outside or inside corner in emergencies, special teams. So they may not want to risk him. So I put him on mine because I had an extra spot. So I have 11 DBs. Carson, who probably won't play the first couple of weeks, but is on the team. Booth Jr., who will be a backup corner. Israel Mukwamu, corner safety backup. Zion Childress could start in the slot. I think it'll be Wanye, but he could get snaps in there. Marquise Bell will also play versus better tight ends. Like I think they'll match him up with Goddard often on third down passing downs. Hooker and Wilson are the starters. Elam Bland are the starters in the game week 1, and then Trayvon Diggs is your eventual starter. He'll just probably be out the first couple weeks.
With Trayvon Diggs coming back earlier than we anticipated, how much more optimistic are you about our secondary?
I actually am pretty optimistic, depending on how well they follow through with this, what I'm talking about. Like if we go into it and it's you have Blandon Elam, we like outside. Zion Childress and Wanye Thomas are run players. And if you look at the Eagles, if they move one of their guys inside, maybe we move one of ours with them. But I'm not really like stressed out about Mechie or Dotson like killing if it's Childress or Wanye Thomas. Right. I feel confident in the first couple of weeks, and then we'll see how people come back and play.
Yeah, I like that. That makes a lot of sense. You talked about safeties already, so talk to us about special teams.
Okay, this is a tough one. So I have 3 spots, and there's 4 special teams players. Brandon Aubrey and Brian Anger are in. That's obvious. Right. So that leaves me one more spot. Trent Sieg, the long snapper, or CJ Goodwin, the special teams ace gunner guy. Both will be playing week 1. One of them will make the roster, I think, and one of them will be cut so that we can get one of those extra bodies we don't want to risk in there because they're both vested veterans. You could tell them like, hey, we're releasing you. You don't go to waivers. We'll bring you back after we make a move, So maybe maybe Kalen Carson makes the roster so that there's no risk of losing him. Trent Sieg is released. Kalen Carson gets put on IR for 4 weeks or whatever, and then you bring Sieg back to that spot or to a practice squad spot, and he's called up the first couple of games, and then if somebody's injured, he's brought up to the roster to replace them.
Forgive me for backtracking, but I'm curious, Mike. As far as slot corner goes, are you more excited about the potential of Zion Childress, Kalen Carson, or Wanye Thomas there?
I like Wanye there. I think he's been solid. People were saying he didn't really do anything in camp. He got injured, but before that, he was the guy in there, and I trust him to cover well enough. And I know he plays the run well. And the thing that's really good about him is that he has like free safety range, not elite free safety range, but he has some range. So if you have him on there, you can kind of disguise some stuff. Like maybe you do a blitz where he ends up being the back end safety. Malik Hooker's playing in the box where he's one of the better free safety run defenders. Yeah. And then you end up blitzing Donovan Wilson. So even though Wanye Thomas was in the slot, you do something like that, or you blitz a linebacker and Wanye moves to that spot. Right. And Donovan moves down and you do stuff like that. Like, I think it brings value. So yeah, I think the nickel will be now. Are any of them going to be Jordan Lewis? No, but I think you can survive with them. And then once you get Bland sliding in there, once it's Bland and Diggs starting outside, and then he slides in and Kyer Elam comes in nickel, then you're set. You got all pro outside or all pro in your slot and a first round pick who's had a really good camp so far.
Now, am I mistaken, or did Revel have a setback recently?
Yeah, Rebel has. He's going to go on the IR for the 4-week IR.
Okay.
But they'll do that. They'll have him. That's who I forgot to put in. They got to put him on the roster. Oh, no. This is why. Because he never was in training camp and he was on the PUP IR list during training camp, you can move him over to the IR for the season without it costing you a roster spot. You don't have to waive him or anything. So that's what they'll do with Rebel. Sorry. It's this thing. This thing is very distracting.
I wonder how beautiful distraction. I wonder how much we'll see of him this year. What do you think?
I think he'll be back in week 4 or 5 and he'll be playing. And he'll be he won't be a starter. He won't come in like your guys are going to be Elam, Diggs and Bland. But I think if Elam struggles or gets hurt or something happens to somebody, that Revel would be the first one in for basically any of the 3.
Gotcha. Really curious about our secondary, man, for sure. All right, well, here we are, Mike, with your views from the sidelines. First question here. What changes did you see on offense on Saturday that you didn't see in the first 2 preseason games?
Well, we kind of brought it up. Milton. They ran some Milton-friendly offensive stuff. They used a slight bit more motion. They did some read and react passes where he could decide if he wants to run, hand it off, or if there's a throw open. Like they did stuff that would more placate to his game, and it showed. He led 3 touchdown drives and a field goal drive before half, maybe 4 scoring drives, a field goal drive before half, something like that. Like he played really well. So yeah, they did a good job of like here, look at some of the stuff he could do. Shut the hell up. Like
I wonder why they didn't do that in the first 2 games.
Because they weren't trying to show anything, like any type of motion or anything they were doing. But I think what happened is people got freaked out of basically pumping up Will Greer to be something. And people were like, can we at least show them, like, if we're running a Milton type offense, we can move the ball down the field. Like,
yeah,
I'm glad they did that.
Did you see any differences in the way the defense was run on Saturday compared to the last 2 weeks?
They stayed pretty vanilla. They did the same. They maybe a third down or 2. They brought a little bit something more exotic, but they were mostly the same.
How do you feel about that though? Like, obviously you don't want to show too much in preseason, but like not showing anything. Do you like keeping it super vanilla, or would you wish we'd have seen a little bit more from the defense?
If you're not gonna play guys, just do vanilla. It's fine. But I mean, I'm following, like, I would like our guys to play, especially with a new offense and everything. But exactly, I get it. We're going against the champs week 1. They have a better roster than us. They're proven winners. Like, they've won with their roster, with their coaching. So it just one of our advantages is, they don't know what's coming. So I like that.
Yeah, good point. All right, here we are. The question of the night. Has your source shared any good or bad news about Micah's deal, Mike?
Okay, so from what I understand, the way Jerry went into the negotiation was he told Micah, well, this should be a 5-year deal, and here's why. I've got you for $24 million this year, and I have 2 franchise tags that put you under 30, basically. And so why am I going to do a 4-year deal at $45 million apiece if I have you the next 3 years for under $30 million average? Mm-hmm. And he was like, whatever, sure, work it out, this and that. And then when it went to the agent's like, we don't do 5-year. Like, we're not doing a 5-year deal. So now Jerry's sitting there going, well, fine, we'll do a 4-year next year. You can play on the franchise tag, and we'll do 4 years next year because that is making it 5. So if it's that big of a deal to you that it's not a 5-year deal, then that's what we're going to do. Now, would I do it that way? No, sign your player. Almost everybody does the 4-year deal. Just get your job done. You pay them a little bit extra. You have extra $30 million in cap you're not using now. So you get the deal done early and take care of it, especially your best players. But because they apparently agreed to that before, and then when it went to the agent was like, nope. And Jerry's like, hey, me and Mike already talked about this. Like, we got it. Jerry got pissed off and was like, well, then F you then, play on the franchise tag. So it's bad. Jerry shouldn't be talking to the players. Micah messed up talking to Jerry, thinking it was like, oh, yeah, we could talk back and forth. And I think hopefully the best thing about this is that players learn, like, no more of that. Don't matter what player you are, hey, talk to my agent. Immediately. Hey, you want to talk about contract? Agent. No matter who you are, how cool you think you are, we're talking about the guy who's the best player, best defensive player, maybe in football, maybe the best player on your team. CeeDee Lamb, not with standing, and this is happening with him. So don't mess around. Don't deal with Jerry Jones anymore. Hey, talk to my agent. Do what Dak did. He got the best deal you can imagine. 3 other quarterbacks have signed and haven't come within $5 million of him because he was like, that ain't my thing. This is the agent. So just do that from now on. You'll be fine.
Yeah, not what I want to hear, but as long as Micah's, not going anywhere, then I really don't care to be totally honest.
Yeah, they're not trading him. That's not even a thing.
All right, here we are with one word. Yeah, I kind of wish I would have changed this now, but we'll just go with it. Micah's still not being signed as blank.
Detrimental. I had a very, very, and you guys know I'm not homers. If I think we're gonna lose, I put it. I was convincing myself of a very, very good case that the Cowboys were going to upset the champs week 1 in their house. And my case was they don't know what we're bringing. Like, Eberflus's defense is known, but he has some stuff flipped in, some Zim stuff, some coverage changes that they plan on doing, some different combinations of secondary players and rushers. So it's a little unknown, so they could catch some things by surprise. Brian Schottenheimer is unknown here with the weapons he has here and how he wants to do motions and use Turpin and use the run game. So my thought was we have that advantage. And then I believe the Eagles defense will still be good, but they're going to drop. They were the number 1 defense last year. I think that's going to drop a little. They lost their 2 vet defensive back guys in Slay and Charlie Garner-Johnson. So not having a guy to tell the young guys, like, hey, watch for this. Like, now you're just young talent. And they're talented, but they're still young talent. So you can do some stuff to mess with them, And then what really would help that is if Eagles had that elite pass rush. But they lost Sweat. They lost Milton. They lost Brandon Graham. Like, they lost bodies on that front. So my thought was, well, if their defense is a 12 to 15 defense instead of number 1, and we can kind of fool them and they're not knowing what's coming, we could beat them. But then I look at it and I'm like, you got to have Micah Parsons at tip-top shape for that to happen. Maisie, no.
I mean, obviously with Micah, it makes our chances of beating the Eagles a lot easier. But I still think that Super Bowl hangover is real. And while I wouldn't bet money that the Cowboys are going to win, I wouldn't be surprised if we won either.
I still wouldn't be surprised, but I was going to pick them to win.
Yeah.
And now my best player is not going to be able to play 50 snaps at full speed. He's just not going to have that burn. I don't know if you know the stat, but or if we talked about it already on here, but number 1 defensive team since Micah was drafted when he is on the field is Dallas Cowboys. When he's off the field, we're dead last since he was drafted. That's a real stat. And so now, because your owner's terrible or your owner's great, but your GM is awful, because of that, now you're not going to have Micah with as many quality snaps on the field, and you could see the difference when he's at top level, number 1, when he's not on the field last. So, it's going to impact.
I don't understand, man. They trust McClay to like draft guys. I don't know why they won't trust him to make the deals, man.
I seen a clip on that show that I refuse to watch where Jerry was talking about how it irks him that he doesn't get credit for the Herschel Walker trade when he did absolutely zero for the Herschel Walker trade. Nothing. He added nothing. There was a time where he didn't know it was happening. Jimmy Johnson had control of that team. It was in his contract. You could ask any of the assistant coaches under him. This is not an unknown thing if you want to try to dig it up. If you want to know the information, this is well known. Jimmy made that trade. Jimmy's the one that came up with if we cut the players, we get the draft picks. Jerry had zero to do with it. And I seen the clip. And that's when I was like, thank God, I knew I was right not to watch that bullshit. Because it would just irritate me, him like, yeah, it was me and Jimmy. Like, no, it wasn't. You've had 30 years to prove you could do anything without Jimmy, and you've done nothing because the Barry Switzer one was Jimmy. It was just Jim. All of Barry Switzer's under coaches were Jimmy's coaches. And Jimmy's players that he picked and trained and built, you guys crapped the bed in your drafts. They were terrible, and he wasn't a good coach. He was a good player person. The players liked him, most of them. Yeah. Troy did not. Troy hated him. But there was a lot of players that were like, hey, I like this guy. He cares. Like, he's not killing us. We're Super Bowl champs. We shouldn't be killed. But, like, Troy didn't. Troy's like, let's keep ourselves on point. And
exactly, yeah.
It's just annoying to hear him talk about, like, yeah, we were eating. No, you weren't. It was all Jimmy. The only thing you did was hired Jimmy. That's what you did well. The rest, and ended up signing Dion for that last one. So you got to give him a percentage for that, a 1 to 5% for the final Super Bowl.
Can't imagine your ego keeping you from being more successful than you already are.
30 years, bro. 30 years is because of that ego.
Yes, sir. All right, so Mike is still not being signed. My word is I kept it really simple, man. Stupid. It's just I don't really know another word for it. It's just straight up stupid. But we'll move on here. Top 5, man. I wish Brendan was here. He didn't send me the list for his weapons. Did he send them to you?
No, he's sick. I know
he was sick. But our category tonight is our top 5 fictional weapons. They can be weapons from books, video games, movies, or TV shows. Mike, give us number 5.
Number 5 will be one that most people won't know, but if you know, it's a deep cut and you'll love it. It's called The List. It's not really named. It's kind of a fan thing that is called The List. It's from the show Vox Machina. There is a character named Percy who kind of sells his soul, and the demon goes into the gun, and it makes a list of his enemies that he wants revenge against, and each bullet has their specific name on it, and he uses it, to try to track down those people and stuff. And Vox Machina, the D&D thing, it's sick, dude. It's so awesome. So yeah, The List is like the name, but it's basically the Percival gun from Vox Machina.
Very, very cool. Number 5 for me, Mike, I went with the blue shell from Mario Kart.
Oh, I like that. Nice. Yeah, a weapon. In the racing world, that's a weapon.
Yes, sir. Okay. Exactly. Yeah, upsetting a lot of first place racers in my day back then, man, when I was always in last. So that was always fun.
Yeah, that's great. You could at least screw it up for somebody else.
Exactly. Number 4, this is, I don't know if this made your list. I feel like it might have made Brendan, but now that I think about it, he's probably too young. He's not an OG to know about this one, but the golden gun from 007.
That's a great one. He is. He's too young. He'd have no idea. That one's old for us, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It really is.
Puke. Maisie.
But for the longest time, I mean, that was like everybody's favorite weapon in anything.
Oh, this dog. Pup, why don't we not do that? It wants to get cords. Sorry, am I on number 4? Maisie.
Yeah, number 4, sir.
Brat. My number 4 is the Vampire Killer. Do you know what that is?
No, I don't.
It is the whip that the Belmont family uses in Castlevania. For me, it would be the games, but there's also shows now on Netflix that follow that work too. But yeah, I gotta have that in there. I still play the original Castlevania on my Nintendo and I love that whip is just iconic.
I've never played Castlevania.
Oh, you gotta play it. I have to pick Porky up because she's trying to go back where the PS5 is, which I have dropped off kind of.
Yeah, you got to keep her far away from that. Mike, number 3 on your list.
Number 3 on my list is the Keyblade. Do you know what a Keyblade is?
No.
Kingdom Hearts. So Kingdom Hearts is a game that was made by the creators of Final Fantasy, and it's mixed with Disney, and it's kind of like Final Fantasy characters go into Disney worlds and fight to protect, the lands and stuff. So
yeah.
A Keyblade is, they can't give Mickey a sword or some kind of dangerous weapon. So the Keyblade is a big giant key that he uses like a sword for the weapon, and then it unlocks lands and keeps out the darkness, which is the spirits that are trying to get in, the bad guys.
Yeah, I feel like my wife actually played Kingdom Hearts a lot when we were first getting to know each other. So yeah, that I've heard of the game. I've never played it though.
Top 5 game series all time.
Yeah, she thought I'd like that game.
It's unbelievable. You should play it with your boy. It's fantastic.
I will have to keep that in mind. Number 3 on my list, I went with Freddy's Glove, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Freddy's Glove should have been on my list over the list. I thought that might have been on your list. It should be higher. That's just one I Freddy's Glove belongs. We're switching the list. So we're moving Vampire Killer down and Keyblade down, and we're putting Freddy's Glove 3rd. And I love you, Vox Machina, in the list, but you're off the list. This is Freddy's Glove.
Oh, man. Vox Machina getting X'd out. Number 2, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this. I feel like you said you played this game, but the line gun from Dead Space.
I have played Dead Space. I don't remember that gun specifically, but maybe I haven't gotten there yet because I got the PS5 one. I was playing early. I got stuck, and then another game came out that I wanted, and I started playing that, and I've never gotten back to Dead Space. So I may not have used that one yet.
It's a good one, man, especially in like the first game. It gets you out of a lot of pickles, man. It's probably the best gun in the game, at least in my opinion.
You're a brat. Yeah, I need to I need to finish that game. The problem is I'm playing the part 2 of the Final Fantasy VII remake, and I'm doing Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 for the first time, which I know I feel I sound like you with that, with like Mr. Terminator. And then I have Madden. So I just have a lot of games to play, but I'll get to it eventually.
Yes, sir. All right, Mike, number 2 on your list.
All right, so revising Vampire Killer, the Belmont Whip, Keyblade at 4, Freddy Krueger's Glove at 3, Lightsabers number 2. I mean, I don't even. Yeah, this is obvious.
I knew that was going to be on yours.
Yes,
I almost had it on mine.
It was one at first, and the reason I forgot Freddy's Glove is because of the switch I made to number 1, and my number 1 is Wolverine's Claws.
What the hell? Are you serious?
Yes, Wolverine's Claws. How is that not the number 1 weapon?
Because that's the number 1 weapon on my list as well, sir.
Yes, sir. I mean, this one, come on. I had it too.
I thought you might have Lightsaber number 1, to be honest.
What's that?
I thought you might have Lightsaber as number 1.
I did. When I did the list last week, I had Lightsabers 1 and I had Wolverine's Claws 2. But the more I thought about it, I was like, well, what lightsaber? If it was Darth Maul's lightsaber, that would probably be 1. Exactly, but if you're just saying lightsabers, well, right. Wolverine's Claws are over just overall lightsabers.
Yeah, valid. That's valid, man. I just thought because of your love for Star Wars that you would put lightsaber at number 1, but you don't usually base your list that way.
If I honestly redid this again, I think Freddy's Glove would be number 1. That's my favorite horror character maybe my favorite character of all time. And for some reason, it just blanked because me and my brother were talking about it. Like, I had the 3 easy. And then I was like, well, what's the other one? Oh, Belmont's Whip. I love that old game. Like, that's cool. And then me and him came up with, we both watched Vox Machina. Well, this is his favorite part of the game, and I also like it. And I was like, you know what? That's a good one, and it's unique. I'll use Freddy's glove is the answer. Freddy's glove is probably number one for me. But since I forgot it, I wasn't going to put it one like an asshole. I left it off the list, and it goes to one. But it probably is.
Yeah, if I redid the list again, it might be number one on my list too. But Wolverine's claws and Freddy's gloves, I mean, that would be that'd be quite the battle. Oh, she finally wore herself out.
She doesn't make it very long. She goes in spurts. She's tired.
Oh man, puppies are such a
busy hour right now.
Yes, sir. Well, Mike, we kept it under an hour in unlikely fashion. Quite a surprise there.
I'm very happy. So let's make that happen. I like 45 to an hour is like where I would like to get it. It's just my fault. I always talk too much.
Yes, sir. Well,
we could have had it done like 40 minutes if it wasn't for me going too much yapping.
Hey, we need your yapping, sir. We don't. Otherwise, it'd be a 20-minute show. We don't need that.
Fair. That's fair.
All right, where can we find you on Twitter, sir?
At CD Piglet, guys. Nice and easy.
Guys, we appreciate you joining us. We'll see you next week. I'm Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15.
She's out. Like she is